let's get into the topic at hand today. First things first. I want to talk about this whole Jim Jones and Nas thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because so Jim Jones was on Joe and Jada, right? And they were referencing some young kid talking about how Jim Jones is better than Nas and things of that nature. And then Jim Jones went on this podcast, sat in between Fat Joe and Jadakiss, and said, yeah, I'm really like that. And then he wanted to talk about like accolades and Billboard charting and and I was just more like, this nigga's delusional. And I like Jim Jones. I like Jim Jones just as much as anybody else, my nigga.
Yeah.
But I don't think Nas and Jim Jones, when it comes to being an influential rapper, should be in the same sentence. What do you think?
No, not at all. Without Nas, there's no Jim Jones.
Right.
Without Nas, there's no Cam.
Right.
There's no Cam. There's no Jim Jones. So this is clearly a miss. But I also understand what Jim Jones is talking about. In order to know about Nas, if you're 20 years old, you have to have a parent that's going to say, hey, this is who X, Y, and Z is. It has to be introduced.
Right.
Because there are a lot of young men and young kids out there that have no idea who Nas is until somebody like us tells them who they are.
Right.
Ballin' by Jim Jones is something that these young kids grew up on.
Right.
So a lot of these kids were 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, talk about ballin'. So yes, they remember that for the next 10, 15 years of their lives. In that instance, that's what Jim Jones was catering to. Jim Jones right now is a fucking 50-year-old YN. He is making music, dressing like these kids. And, nothing wrong with that because that's how he is. But he's also delusional in the fact that he has more chart-busting music than fucking...
Bro, it just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Illmatic is one of the best albums of all time.
Critically acclaimed.
I cannot say anything like that about Jim Jones. Jim Jones does not have a top 100 album of all time.
My man, you could take Illmatic, It Was Written, I Am. You could take so many of these albums and teach a whole English curriculum off of these albums.
Yeah.
You can't say that about Jim Jones.
No.
And it doesn't take anything away from what he's done. And here's the thing, right? So the kids, they fucking, they like Jim Jones because he's wearing the sparkly pants and the fucking sparkly belts and the fucking all that shit. Cool, my nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care. Like, fashion is important when it comes to certain type of rappers.
Yeah.
My nigga, right? But you look at a nigga like Nas who can make a black tee and a gold chain look like he's the fucking Gold Ranger, my nigga. Like, he's going to make this shit historical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just from wearing, like, whatever. You know what I mean? And because he's giving you that real. Like, he's really spitting for real. And not only that, if you look at modern Nas, he got with Hit Boy and created a series, The King's Disease.
Yeah.
All this shit. Like, bro, you going to put On the Church Steps versus King's Disease 2?
You can't.
I don't understand where the comparison is coming from. These young niggas, these new niggas, they fickle. You know what I mean? They hop on anything. They're like, yo, well, this nigga had the what's the shit? What's the fashion? I'm not a fashion nigga. I don't
Chrome Heart jeans.
Chrome Hearts. There it goes.
Yeah, boom.
Oh, he taught niggas how to put the Chrome Hearts on with the motherfucking charm bracelets and you little niggas can't afford that shit anyway. But that's why you like Jim Jones, because he looked nice. That's gay. First off, like why you can't? Oh, he looked nice, so he's better than Nas. Nigga, that's pretty gay. Like, relax, right? But then the little nigga said, "Ballin', we fly high." That is a timeless record. I'll give Jimmy that. I love Ballin'. But then the Pop Champagne, That song sucked. That song was ass, nigga.
Yeah, no.
Straight ass juice, nigga.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Straight garbage, nigga.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Straight lint on balls.
That's when the rap game was trying to be so bad, man.
And the same little niggas who's probably loving that Ron Browse feature don't even realize that Ron Browse produced Ether for Nas. Why you think Ron Browse is Ether, boy? So these songs that y'all are trying to like, I want to know, where are these Billboard, charts, like these Billboard, what's the word that I'm looking for? I forget what it is. But when you first drop something and then you on Billboard, yeah, Jimmy, you have had success. You have absolutely had success. We know that you're a multimillionaire. We know you've done good things. But you will never, ever be in the same conversation as Nasir Jones, my nigga. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's insane, man. We're talking about Godson versus Jim Jones. Bro.
And then Jim Jones doubled down the other day. I forget what podcast he was on. He said, "Oh, I've made Nas go viral. He ain't seen this viral activity ever." And you're probably right. Because when he was going to war with Jay-Z, that was before the viral era.
Yeah, there was no internet for that.
Niggas had to actually search for shit.
Yep.
You had to hit up the bootleg spot, or you had to, go to the record store.
Shout out to Funky Fresh.
You know what I mean? Shout out Funky Fresh. You had to go get the magazine, the source, and things of that nature. So it was a different time. So I understand that. Yeah, maybe Nas hasn't gone viral. But Nas would never go viral for talking out the face, my nigga.
Nah.
He would never go viral for saying some outlandish shit like that.
No.
You are going viral for that, which I respect, because your streams are probably going up. And he's also said that too. He's like, niggas ain't even understand that. That's my play, nigga. I go say whatever I want to say. My streams go up. My sales go up, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. So people are going to he's probably going to keep saying crazy shit. Maybe that's his angle. If that's your angle, more power to you, brother. Put some money in your pockets. But Jim Jones couldn't shine Nas's shoes. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, my nigga. Like, I've never listened to a Jim Jones album and said, wow, that did a lot for me. Am I out of bounds by saying that?
I agree with you. I can say I have more fun listening to Jim Jones's albums than I do Nas. Nas is, more of a...
Yes, it's more serious.
More thinking. Where Jim Jones is, pop champagne, let's pop a bottle, let's go, let's get fresh, let's get fly. And I like that music too. I think all this music is all subjective. Outside of the Billboard thing, like, yeah, I get it. Jimmy, you probably were on the billboards for the first maybe hour or 2 hours of that song coming out, but like,
you don't have more Billboard entries than Nas. You don't. You don't.
You don't have a song
like not even close.
You don't have a song with Lauryn Hill.
You don't have more Billboard entries than Nas. You don't have more influence on hip hop as a culture than Nas, because fashion is one side of it. And also, you got to understand, when Nas was coming up, you weren't even a rapper for real then. Like, let's be real. That's when Mace was teaching you how to rap.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't happening, bro. Yeah. Like, it just, you can't do that, bro. No. It's disrespectful.
And to be honest, man, Jim Jones talking, he's not even better than Mace.
Come on.
He is not better than Mace.
Absolutely
not even
close.
Not even close.
Not nowhere near close as Cameron neither.
No, not at all.
I remember when niggas used to be like, yo, Jim is the best Dipset. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Nah.
Because the problem is that's when the Cam was doing the putin shit, right? But niggas, if you actually listen to those bars, he was actually saying a lot of crazy shit. And it just, he was giving you a nursery rhyme version of it.
Yeah, that's all.
But he was actually spitting for real. He said, I nurture their brain. I tutor the students. He said, I'm moving the movement, some shit. What he said, he said, hit up from rooter to tutor. I didn't even know what that meant until recently. And I'm
Rooter
like,
to tutor.
yeah, I didn't know what that meant. Yeah. I just thought he was just saying bullshit.
Nah.
From rooter to I was like, oh.
From the rooter to the tutor, baby.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was the way his delivery's amazing. Mm-hmm. So you wasn't even the best nigga in your crew. And them niggas ain't fucking with Nas. So how? How? You wasn't even the best rapper on that couch when you said that dumb shit. You got Fat Joe, Jada and Jimmy. I think if we're going from highest lyrical ability and influence and just total packages of rapper, if you going from top to bottom, it'd be Jada, Joe, and then Jim.
Facts.
So you wasn't even the best rapper on that couch, and you had the nerve to talk about Godson.
To be honest, he's not even the best dressed on that couch because Fat Joe got style like a motherfucker.
Joe be having moments. He be doing some weird shit. He be doing some weird shit.
He's dressing for his age. He's not trying to be a YN.
I feel like Joe had to fire a couple of stylists because then he be doing some real questionable shit when he be like, I'd be like, yo, Joe, what are you doing, buddy?
Leave Joe alone, man. That's my guy.
I fuck with Joe too. And I fuck with Jim. I don't want to sound like I don't fuck with Jim. I do. I love Jim Jones. But it's just when we talking about rap, like rap for real, hip hop, like you said, they do different things. Like, and when you want to listen to some fly shit,
throw on that Jimmy, man.
Put on some Jimmy, man. But when you want to listen to some thought-provoking, like, classic rap, like some real classic rap that's going to be like, damn, my man spitting. My man really told an ill, wild, crazy story right now. Put that Nas on.
Yeah.
I can't say that about Jimmy.
Nah.
You know what I mean? So we got to put that to bed, man. We got to put this conversation to rest. Like, Jimmy, stop. Like, we love you, my nigga, but what Kobe, no, what Draymond Green said to Paul Pierce, they don't love you like that. They don't love you like that, my nigga. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.